What's up, weebs? Welcome back to Anime Lane. As always, I'm Rebel Notorious. Joining me once again today, Shaun.
Hey, well.
Melina.
What is up, parties?
From Brooklyn.
God.
This isn't even the last episode of the day.
We consume content.
When you there's
a dream.
You know?
When words.
Today we're talking about what we've been consuming. I don't know why that was so mentally taxing to say.
Yeah.
It's only 2 in the afternoon.
It is. I genuinely feel like I've been stabbed with an ice pick in the head somewhere.
Like Trotsky. Calm down.
Wow, is this really how fast we're gonna
Wow.
derail?
Yeah, apparently. So yeah, we came in to this episode just saying, yeah, we're gonna talk about
Content we've consumed.
yeah, and we've done it before, and apparently I'm failing at introducing this episode.
You can do it.
What are we? So who's wanting to go first?
I don't want to go
think
first.
that's sort of okay.
I'm buying myself out as not going first.
Okay.
I've just not done much, so I feel like it's not worth it.
Oh, so this can't be another episode where I talk
Okay,
for
I
most
can-
of it again.
Okay.
Yes, it can.
I already dominated the last one with Godzilla.
That's
And
fair.
it got so many views.
It is now the most viewed video on the channel.
Take that as a compliment. People want your
insane.
voice.
I don't know about that one. I think they just saw Godzilla in the title, clicked
Ooh,
on.
big
No,
monster.
they
Yeah.
want your voice. That's why your solo episodes did so well.
No, they didn't.
Maybe you just weren't talking about the right stuff.
Yeah.
Oh no, some of them actually did do pretty well. It's just I picked the right things, and some of them retroactively became the right things.
I will say, the reason I don't want to go first is it's gonna be Cyberpunk, man. It's.
I
just
mean,
'cause it's
fair
Cyberpunk.
I mean, okay, so I guess context for this episode, it is end of October. So all I've been doing pretty much is watching horror movies. So if I talk, that's going to be the main theme. If you talk, it's going to be Cyberpunk. You just
You
have
have
been
nothing.
devoid of life, I guess.
Read a bunch of plays.
Talk about it.
What was that voice?
Like, because, for the course I'm doing at the moment, I have to read a bunch of plays every week. And my lecturer was like, well, how about you read one more every week? I'm like, that's not going to totally
Jesus.
ruin everything. That's fine.
It's going to
Yeah.
ruin the tour.
That's
gonna
going to
ruin
ruin
the
the tour.
What tour?
Yeah, but so in my free time, I'm the amount of free time I have, I've just been reading a bunch of plays. It's fun. So I read the Fleabag play because that was
that was a
originally
play?
Yeah.
it was a Fringe play.
Ah, of
Yeah.
course it was.
Sounds
I don't
about
know. I don't think either of you have seen the show.
I haven't, no. I actually don't really know much about what it is, but I think, is that the one where she breaks the fourth wall all
Yep.
the time? Yeah.
Yeah, I have like such a love-hate relationship with it because I think it's really enjoyable, but I can also recognize it is a little cringy. But it's cringy in a way of it's a more realistic portrayal of like the female experience, but that can be seen by some as like, ooh, it's a bit too on the nose. Why is she so sexual? I'm like,
Yeah.
she's a human.
Uh-huh.
There's a spectrum of hypersexual
Yeah.
people and all that, and for someone to see a woman just openly express that, they're like, ew, that's not supposed to work like this.
Ew.
No, I think it's very well written. I think the stage play is very fun, but there's certain aspects of it that don't work at all.
Ooh.
Yeah, and that's just a shame because I think the second series, like the second season of the series, better than the first. Because I don't. You guys scared for spoilers of this?
I really don't.
So she kills a guinea pig.
As you said.
Okay.
But I'm assuming it's a whole metaphorical thing for like she had a friend who she ran a cafe with that passed away, and she really loved this guinea pig, and now our main character is just stuck caring for it, and she doesn't want it. She's very bad at taking care of things,
Okay.
and so
Sentimental guinea pig.
yeah, she kills the guinea pig.
Okay.
just to kind of close that chapter, I suppose. You're still sitting there. It's like, you did do that, though. We can't just pretend you didn't.
Yeah, I don't care what the metaphor is. She killed a guinea pig.
Yeah, no,
That's fucked
that's
Yeah.
exactly how I sat there as I was reading it. I was like, I hope the stage play does this better. No.
No. Oh, okay, cool.
Because I watched the series first, but yeah, it's just fun because none of us are kind of used to reading plays, and so me doing this course, it's been really fun to see the things you can explore within plays.
Yeah.
Like reading stuff where you're like, I never expected this. Like reading about someone shooting up their workplace, and then like the second act is just filled with all the coworkers that survived trying to outdo each other on making a movie or writing a book about it.
Jesus Christ, okay.
But it's like really interesting.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
everyone's like, no, my experience is like the one. And of course they paint themselves in the best
Yeah.
light, and everyone else, they don't know. I was the shooter's friend, you know, I helped them. And so it's really fun to see a different medium play with it. And now that I'm like, for other assessments, I'm writing a screenplay, I'm finding myself being like, why can't this be a play?
What if I can make this a play?
Yeah, I mean, there are so many limitations to it. I don't know how you guys, whenever you write, you're like, can this feasibly be shot?
Yeah.
Sometimes I think about that if I'm
Yeah.
writing something, even if it's just like prose. Because the way I think about it,
Maybe a movie one day.
yeah. Well, the way I think about it is like the way my mind works. When I think of a story, I think of it like a movie.
Yeah, no, that's how I do it too. I'm blocking and composing the shots,
Yeah.
and then I'm trying to find the words to describe that.
Exactly.
Rather than like thinking, oh, can this be like shot as a movie? I'm trying to play the movie out in my head just because that's the way my brain works. Internal dialogue and stuff is different,
Yeah, yeah.
Of course.
but generally the scenes and the actual like things going on I'm thinking of, and like
Yeah,
you
'cause
know.
I do the same thing, but I'm a horrible prose writer.
I didn't say I was a good one.
yeah, yeah, that.
Like, I look back at, like, sometimes, you know, you have an idea, I'm like, okay, I'll just write it out like an outline. And then it's just a bunch of, looks this way, like that way, say this, then we smile, then do this,
So you've written a screenplay,
yeah,
essentially.
I think, exactly. But this was my problem before I started writing screenplays already, so maybe I should have just switched to that
Yeah,
earlier.
it's like I can't write screenplays because I feel too limited
Yeah,
with them.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of rules you need to stick by in the
Oh,
screenplays.
Exactly.
Whereas even though I'm picturing it as a movie in my head, I'd rather write it out as prose because I feel like my words just fit better
What
that
we
way.
basically I think we do when we're writing is we're making up a movie in our head and then we're writing the novelization.
Pretty much,
That
yeah.
movie.
No, that's exactly it.
That's how we
I
write.
at night at 2 a.m. when I can't sleep, fantasize about making that into a movie, and yeah.
Been there.
Yeah, that's the 2 a.m. subconscious dream where you're
Yeah.
like, let's go to sleep. Play it.
Then
Play
you're
the
doing the
movie.
audio commentary.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see, that either happens at
Exactly.
2 a.m. or in the shower for me.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. Lying in the bath, just. Oh wait, no one can see me.
Or
Leans
My-
back as if in math. Oh, wait.
fucking- my new version of that I've gotten in the last few years because YouTube has killed my imagination is that I will imagine like something I like say like Cyberpunk or like a game, any other game I like, and I will try and describe it as if I was doing a video essay. On it.
Ah, that's
nice.
good.
Like, because I love, I can be downright terrible at it, but I love like explaining things and like something I really like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I'm terrible at it, and when it actually comes to do it, I'm horrible at finding the words, but I love explaining and like trying to get across what I see in these games
Yeah.
and like how I would describe the story and stuff, and just how much I like it, and that kind of ends up becoming an impromptu like video essay that I'm basically scripting out loud.
Start
Again,
recording it.
Yeah, I know. I've actually told myself I should do that, but then I'd have to do the effort of recording and then editing and then retaking stuff.
Yep, that is my big problem. Like, you guys know I've done like kind of big movie binges the past couple of months, and like at some point at the end of that you think, okay, well I've had a full experience with this and I've written about it on, you know, reviews and stuff on my letterbox and that, and it's like, well, I could turn that into a video essay because then something comes from all of this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
And
have
then
something tangible.
Yeah.
You've created something.
And I think from doing this, I have like a way that I know I could deliver a cadence to it and put it into a video essay and stuff. And then I think, the amount of work that would be, and that's only because of the scale that the videos would end up being, because I have done a Godzilla marathon, which was 38 movies. I'm now on a Halloween marathon where I'm currently at 32. I'm just thinking of the length a video essay about all of those movies would be is
trying
crazy.
to do that in one video. That's a H bomber like scale thing, and that's a lot.
And that's the thing that's trendy now. So I know that would be the best like format to put it in.
Next week on Anime Lane.
No, it wouldn't be Anime Lane. It would probably be something I'd do on like my own channel or something. Yeah,
like if I was doing this, I'd cut you guys out and just like completely do it on my own.
Yeah, because like I've thought about doing a series of videos called like So I Did a Thing, and it's like so I watched every Godzilla movie, or so I played every Resident Evil game. It's like the amount of times I've done something where I've done or I've consumed everything within something in the past year. I've thought I should really do something creative and productive with that at the end, and then I don't, because it's the fear of actually having to spend the time and thinking I will run out creatively before I get really far into this.
That's my fear as well. I will burn myself out like going like in the process of making it, that like my fear is like halfway through I will have no energy to like actually complete it anymore, because all the excitement and drive I've gone for it has already been spent to get to that point already.
I know I would finish the script and I would try to record it, and that's where I would fall, because I hate doing solo recording where I need to retake, deliver a line again because I fucked it up, or because I don't think that's the way I wanted to deliver it, or having to reword something because the way I've written it down doesn't actually fit as a spoken sentence. And then you have a headache, you're breathless, your throat hurts, you're just...
Yeah.
And then you have to think about editing that later, and that's where I'm like, fuck that.
I just, with every creative project I do, I reach a point where I'm like, fuck it, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Done. Like, could it be fine-tuned? Could it be polished? Do I slightly misspeak here? Yeah, but fuck it, we're done.
Yeah, you gotta draw a line somewhere.
Yeah, because otherwise the stuff you create is never going to come out.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're at every point, it's fine to be perfectionistic, but you need to also, like, tell yourself, no one cares.
You're going, no one cares, and you're driving yourself insane thinking just because you care.
Yeah, exactly.
But you gotta remember how many times delivering the openings of these episodes I flub the lines. Reading a script is not something I'm generally naturally good at, and reading out loud isn't something I'm generally naturally good at, so I would be retaking a bunch of times unless I committed it to memory, but that would be something like... Oh my god,
that takes even more.
10,000 words probably, or something. Not
happening.
No.
But yeah, no, doing, like, I enjoy doing creative stuff, reading, you know, plays, screenplays, all that, enjoy it. But, like, being creatively overwhelmed is so frustrating. Because, like, you have ideas, you want to get to it, but you feel not burnt out, but just, I'm taking in so much.
Yeah, that paralyzed.
I'm like, okay, but now it's my turn. And how does my work fit into that scope?
Yeah.
You're like,
absolutely.
but I'm teeny on me.
But I'm so small and amateur, I can't do it.
That's sort of the double-edged sword of learning, is that you're looking at the greats, or really well-written stuff, or people who have spent decades doing it, and then you think, oh, well, now I need to do it. From nothing, from zero, or from, like, barely any experience, and you think, wow, I need to turn out a professional piece of work of that caliber.
I mean, that's the fun thing with the course I'm doing now. They gave us unproduced stuff as well.
Wow.
Stuff that, because they used to do script reports where, you know, you just read a bunch and you comment on it whether a production wants to go forward with it or not. So this is like first draft, unproduced garbage.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And, you know, we read that and then you discuss it as a group, and some people will say, you know, I liked it, but it's not good.
Yeah.
Like, there's potential, but it's not good at all. Like, it's a mess. There's grammar mistakes. But, you know, just... And, like, we've had examples of, like, oh, this is the first draft of this play that became very popular.
Yeah.
And you see how it goes through, you know, versions and all that. And I think with creative stuff, always keep working on your craft. but when you get in a rut, like I am a little bit at the moment, it's so fucking difficult.
Well, I haven't written creatively in 3 years.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Because I just haven't. I still have all the ideas and I know what I want to write, but since we finished our course on it, I've just been so like tapped out.
Yeah.
And like, doesn't help my life's been weird.
Yeah.
That certainly didn't help. But yeah, I just haven't, like, it's been weird. It's like I want to do that and I keep generating the ideas and I keep fine-tuning them in my head of like, okay, so I want to refine the story, or I want to refine the characters, or I want to figure out the details of from here to here, or this scene or that's whatever. But then writing it down is just a thought that hasn't been coming to my head for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
It's like I know I want to do it eventually, but I'm just like, I don't feel it right now.
Yeah.
It's weird.
The spark is just sort of not
Yeah.
there. I get that.
I mean, let's sit down and write it. That's the hardest fucking part.
exactly.
Because
That's the wall.
so many ideas. Everyone just has so many ideas up in their head. But to sit the fuck down and say, okay, this many words today.
Yeah.
It's...
I think it doesn't help I've already put some of the ideas down on paper, but I know that when I go back to it, I'm going to have to start completely all over again.
Yeah.
And that's only because, like, it was work for college. It had to fit a specific format. It had to fit a specific word count, a specific idea. Whereas I'm now just writing for something I want to create. And for that, you do need to just start at zero, at least in my opinion, because of what I've made. I don't really think strongly on what I've written there, in the sense of I don't think it fits the vision
that you
I'm
have now.
aiming for. Yeah.
It sort of ties into what I was just thinking when you were saying like to get the ideas like actually down on paper, because you're not just writing it down, because after that you're gonna have to refine it, redraft it, repeat steps over and over again, so you've got something you're at least somewhat satisfied with.
Read it until the words don't make any sense. You're just looking for grammar mistakes, you're looking for spelling errors,
And
you're
then at
looking
that
at
point
fits.
it's good to send it to someone else so that they can read it and it's legible. And then it goes all the way back to again your point where you said that like at a certain point you just have to go, I'm done, because you'll send yourself into... I hate that I'm quoting George Lucas, but like he's gonna there's actually a good quote of his that I, maybe not the way he meant it, but I like it in the fact that he said that like films aren't finished, they're abandoned. Like and the way he sort of like meant that was I think it was sort of a justification for why he went back to Star Wars and redid it and stuff. But the way I sort of get the wisdom in that sense that like he's basically describing you can't agonize yourself on it over and over. You have to just stop and let it go and let it go out there.
Let it go. Let it go.
Shush.
Because I don't know how the process is for you guys, but I'm very much I make a draft and we edit it. We never restart. Let's start fresh.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, even if you have something that had to fit the requirements, I would edit that.
I don't know, because what I've written for the requirements isn't actually it doesn't fit the story anymore. So like I wrote that when the idea was very early on and I didn't have a full-fledged like I didn't have the full concept finished. I knew roughly what I was aiming for, but I didn't have the world fully built. I didn't have the story fully mapped out, even though I know that's going to change as I go along. But like I have like certain beats that I want to hit.
You have a full draft at this point.
Mentally,
point A to point B, you know, to the end point, because the first thing I always do is end it, or when I have the idea, which is a rough sort of like skeleton of the blurb, I'll then try and figure out how does it start, and then most importantly, how do we end? Where's the ending? I need an ending before I can do anything.
Smart. Not a lot of writers do that sometimes.
But for that, what I wrote for college, just I didn't know how to start it at the time. I had the ending, I had the idea, but I didn't have the start, and that start's not really great. It's not. It's just something to fill the space. Whereas I think you need to craft like a fairly strong start to a story.
Yeah, I mean it's in screenwriting and script reports, playwrights, your first 10 pages. That's where it's at. If you can't hook someone in the first 10, you're fucked. It's
like reading a book. If you can't get someone within the first 2 chapters, you're pretty much...
You're lost them. Because there's nothing worse than being like a few chapters into a book and being like, I couldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but I don't care to continue reading this. And then you just put it down and you never pick it back up again. The joys of creative work, guys.
Oh boy.
A tangent that I didn't expect to go on.
Yeah. To any writers out there, always send your stuff to everyone.
Yeah.
And find people who will tell you this sucks.
Yeah. No, just if you become friends with Melina, don't send her it to proofread it. She won't. She'll just not.
I've gotten better at it.
Well, I'd hope so in the last, 3 years.
Yeah, I still don't believe you, though.
No, I have 4 years of experience proofreading.
Yeah, but the amount of times you've gone, just don't send me something to proofread because I won't.
I said it twice.
Yeah. That's enough.
Okay, noted.
You shouldn't be saying it at all.
Yeah.
The thing is, I'm very good at proofing screenplays. Prose, whole nother fucking story.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, and rewrite prose.
Exactly.
When we write.
Yeah.
I'm looking for someone to go, oh, that grammar doesn't quite make sense, or that's misspelled, but you just don't.
What? But yeah, so that's what I've been up to, feeling creatively weird.
No, I get that.
Very real.
Sad and real, correct.
Yes. I didn't say sad, but you know.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I said it, so it's fine. No, that's just a sad reality of working in creative industries. They're constantly like, no more entry-level jobs.
Yeah.
And so you're like, so what do I do? It's like, just write and be famous.
Just get discovered. How?
The internet's really fucked everything up.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it has.
I feel like this might be a weird thing to pivot into, but to go off the internet thing, I feel like there's now a bit of a stigma on new writers on that level, just because of sort of ties into how fan fiction has been received over the decades at this point, because there's bad fanfic out there, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of good stuff out there, and we've kind of talked about this a little bit now that I think about it, on Nap when we were doing a few episodes on that, but a lot of people do start really writing with fanfic and stuff, just getting an idea and either reinterpret. I've imagined times where I've wanted to take a story, but I've wanted to reinterpret it in some ways to eventually make something new. I've done that I've thought about with Zelda and other stuff before, but I've always been really hesitant to actually write it because of just the stigma of I don't want to be a fanfic writer.
Yeah, I mean
stuff.
That's the thing. I don't know if I want to give too much away about an idea that isn't really on paper yet, but
patent pending.
Yeah, you guys have read the story, stories that I've written, and now that you guys have seen Gundam, you probably know the rough origin point.
I mean, you mentioned you took some inspiration.
Some. Some.
Yeah. There's. I'm remembering that story right now, and a little bit. I say that there's not an Evangelion ripoff in my head right now.
The amount of parts of my story, all I'll say is I've used the world of Gundam as a framework idea, and I've changed a lot of things because I would say at some point of my story it's also alternate history a little bit if you go far back enough. But a lot of the world building is just parts of Gundam with certain names scratched out and replaced with other ideas.
Hey, sometimes that's how ideas just happen.
This is what most fantasy writers do.
Yeah.
They're so we have middle something.
Not middle. Under Earth.
Under Earth.
High Earth.
Where there's elves that live in.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a cool thing where I take the elves and combine them with the orcs. And it's gonna be so cool, guys. And they're also the dwarves, and this is, you know what this is? This is fucking Elder Scrolls.
This is Elder Scrolls.
I've described Elder Scrolls to you before the writers got high and the lore got fucking weird. Fucking Morrowind.
Oh man.
But that's what happens though. You get inspiration. That's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And there's no such thing as an original idea.
To refer to this James Somerton wheel of plagiarism, on a low end of the scale, you've got inspiration, and that's okay.
Yeah.
As long as it's not straight up stealing this shit.
No. Yeah. I hope not. Anyway.
There's a cease and desist coming your way.
Tom Scott's gonna do another video essay on it.
Oh man.
So on a lighter note, what content have you guys consumed?
Sean, you want to talk about Cyberpunk?
Go
A
ahead,
little
go
bit.
rant.
Hold on,
I mean,
I'm gonna-
okay, hold on. To preface that, I will talk about the one other thing I've basically been consuming. It'll
Okay.
be shorter, I promise.
I'm just gonna turn on the light while you're talking.
Yeah, it is very
Yeah.
dark in here right now. So I finished Veep, finally. I've talked about it a couple times already on past discussions on the show. Finally finished it, and overall, yeah, it's a good show. I enjoyed it. If you're a fan of the shows like I mentioned like before in another conversation, like The Thick of It and like stuff like that, you'll get a good amount of enjoyment out of this on like an American spin. It's also a lot longer.
Yeah.
But boy, can you tell when Trump got elected.
Oh, that was still going when Trump got elected?
2012 to 2019.
Wow.
Oh.
Oh, excuse me. Wow.
So there is definitely a point near the middle where Trump got elected and politics got so fucked
Jesus.
that they had to end up trying to one up that, and the show kind of, I don't want to say descends into madness because that sounds like it degrades in quality. And
But
maybe
the
arguably it
plot.
does in some
Yeah.
level, but like it does descend into absolute batshit insane.
Oh,
On some
okay.
level, like, to give a good sort of comparison, this is just to show you how batshit it gets. One of the main characters in like the sort of circle of characters in season 1, he's a dick, but like he's at least his story is he basically got the job because he had a political connection with his uncle and stuff to get like in part of the White House stuff. At the beginning, he's a dick, and he's basically like a frat boy kind of dick, where like he's a guy in like his 20s. He's a bit sexist, a bit like racist, but like he knows to shut his mouth, and he knows that he's like when to just use his job for like his own benefit.
Yeah.
By the end of the show, he's an anti-vaxxer, Trump-esque candidate running for president who ends up marrying and fucking his own half-sister. That's where the show goes.
Half sister, as in
Yes. At first
Step.
he thinks she's his stepsister, but then it's revealed that his dad is the same dad as her.
Oh, and they still.
Yeah,
Okay, no. Okay,
but they're married at that point.
Oh, God.
Oh. The fact that even the stepsister part's weird.
Yeah, that they point that out as weird, and then it gets fucking weirder. Like halfway
She's your
through
stepsister. We're not related.
this
You
is
are.
this is a central plot of the final season.
Oh,
Of course it is.
it's disgusting.
Yeah, and like the main character, Selena, like she's definitely a politician, but like in the first season, she's like a typical sort of political caricature where like she still has some principles because she has to have some sort of ideology.
Yeah.
But then by the and at the start you'd thinking like, oh, she's just sort of a dirtbag, maybe centrist Democrat. By the end, she's full on right wing grift. She genuinely doesn't care about anyone, including her own daughter,
Oh, Christ.
to the point where she's going to ruin her daughter's marriage by promising to ban same-sex marriage to get a political endorsement.
Jesus Christ.
I get the whole final season is basically supposed to show that like she alienates her entire inner circle to get one last shot at the presidency. But the way the characters just get flanderized like relatively quickly in the middle of the show did leave a bit of a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
Even though it is a pretty good show overall. It's just there is quite the drop
Yeah.
in like believability at
Yeah.
one point, and it made the show not as great as I thought it could have been. Still good,
yeah.
just not as good.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when any show takes an overly political note very suddenly, I'm like, I appreciate what you're doing.
I mean, Veep is a political
Yeah.
show
Yeah.
in the first place.
I expect it to be like even overly political,
Yeah.
but like it goes so on the nose and batshit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which I can't even blame them because they had to one up reality, which also became very on the nose and batshit.
Yeah, that's the thing is like a lot of media felt it had to respond to the 2016 to 2020 presidency.
Yeah.
And whether it needed to
Yeah.
or whether it did it well is always kind of up for debate. I mean,
Yeah.
totally understand it. I get
Yeah,
it.
it's a political satire, so and that's just how political satire had to evolve.
Yeah, it
because
just
reality became absurd.
yeah, but it's weird how like it's the only presidency that actually like had like a tangible effect on like a lot of media. Where there's a like you say in Veep, it's like there's a point where you can tell where Trump got elected. It's like I feel like you can look at a lot of running shows at the time and look at the 2017 probably and go, oh yeah, that's when
it happened. Yeah, because like at first I did sort of wonder like, when did the show suddenly why is everyone such a fucking caricature of like a politician? Like, why is everyone suddenly so incompetent? Like, they can't even do their jobs even half right. I'm not sure why they're even in this position. And then I realized that like season 3 or 4 was 2016 and 17. I was like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
God.
Sad but understandable.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Still a decent show overall. I'd still recommend it. Like if you're willing to put up with all that.
Yeah.
For like the 7 seasons it's on.
Wow. It's HBO, right?
Yeah, it's HBO.
It's only 10 episodes a season, roughly.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think the first season and the last season will have like 8 or 7 episodes each.
Okay.
Thankfully, the last season knows when to just stop. Because I think if that got like a full 10 seasons, I'd be saying more bad stuff about the ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, an HBO show with a not so great ending, isn't that funny?
Wow. Name a more iconic duo.
But yeah, that's been fun, but okay.
Let's get to the meat.
I've been playing so much fucking Cyberpunk this year.
For the third time?
Third time overall, second time this year.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Because I did my second playthrough, I thought I was done, and then I saw it happening to myself. I shouldn't have tempted myself by going, I just want to see what the Nomad intro looks like. I've not done it yet. And then I got the idea for a new build. And I did the whole game in that build. And then I did the one ending I haven't done yet. I think I'm fully done for like a good year after all of this.
6 months later.
I mean, yeah, because I literally have nothing else to do now. At least on the second playthrough, I had like the DLC to do.
Yeah.
And on the third playthrough, I just want to do a Netrunner build. I love Cyberpunk so much. It's such a good game, though.
It is. I'm also playing it at the moment. I'm doing my second playthrough, not the second this year. The last time I played it was 2021?
2022.
2022. That's
Yeah.
no. It was because I remember checking back on our chat logs because I was looking at my Halloween binge through. For some of the thoughts I had because I was rewatching Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, for this Halloween. And so I was looking at some of the thoughts because I had swore I said like a certain thing about one of the movies to you, and I wanted to see if I could find it so I could find the better wording because I couldn't figure it out at the time. And I discovered during that movie marathon is when I was first playing Cyberpunk.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was 2021.
Jeez.
Because I think you had just played it like before I did.
Yeah, I had played it like, I want to say like a couple months or so because
Yeah.
I first played it roundabout when the next gen update came out.
Yeah, and I had seen the next gen update had come out and I bought it for cheap because we had it at work. And then I got round to it a little
Did
later.
you not watch Edge Runners first? Though?
I did watch Edge Runners first, and
Okay.
that was what spurred me into finally
Yeah.
playing it. But you know, I'm on my second playthrough because I still hadn't played the DLC. I've owned it since it came out. And so I started playing it. I got about 50 hours in, and I was like halfway through the DLC, and then this motherfucker is like, oh yeah,
You know what the really sad thing is? I had been playing it like a good chunk already without like it showing up on Discord because I was ashamed.
I kind of assumed that.
I was like, I can't let him know I'm doing this again. And then at a certain point, I was like, I can't hide it.
Yeah.
anymore.
It's like you're cheating on your partner. I'm sorry.
That's what it felt like, man. I was like, I
You're
can't
lying
spoil
by
your
omission.
time on it.
So I have commitments in my life. Work.
Yeah,
I
I don't
wanna-
have any of that.
I want to watch movies. I want to do other things. Rather, normally I would let a game consume hours, but I played Cyberpunk before, so I was like, I'll take it.
It's fine.
I'll take it easy.
Yeah.
And then I'm like halfway through the DLC, 50 hours in, and after him initially saying, "Oh yeah, I'm just doing the Nomad opening," you're like, I wanted to try a new build.
Yeah.
And then you were already 30 hours in.
Yeah.
And then the next thing, like, because I have work, like, there's certain days I can't play it. The next thing I know, he's surpassed me.
Yeah.
I just imagine you like skipping through the fields. Oh, I'm doing this so chillax. And Shaun just.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my Nomad car, just like middle finger up to you, like get fucked.
I'm soaking in the world. I'm
Yeah.
doing all the things, playing it my way, enjoying it, and then he just fucking careens past me, and I'm like, well, that's a little demotivating.
No, don't demotivate that. I have nothing else to do right now.
I know.
It's very sad that I'm able to pass you. That's the message here. I love the image though. You're just like having a good time, and then in the background, never fade away. We'll never fade away.
We gave everything. What the fuck?
Is that? Yeah.
You're leaning down, smelling the flowers.
Still chipping in. I mean, I'm not sorry though. I'm not sorry.
No, you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be. I shouldn't feel demotivated by it, but I don't know what
I
it
feel
is. It
kind
was
of
like
bad. I'll be honest.
it was probably just the point in the game I was at anyway. Like I finished the DLC, and I'm just sort of cleaning up the side stuff before
You're
I
out
go
of
into the
new
endings.
content.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm in the point of just doing everything I've already done before.
The only thing you have left is maybe getting a different ending.
Yeah, but I'm intending to do just pretty much every single ending. Like I'm gonna do it my save.
You probably should, because there's interesting stuff I'd say that's in the other ending that's worth playing through.
And I kind of made sure that I could get the Phantom Liberty ending too.
Yeah.
Though I still wanted to make that choice anyway for the Phantom Liberty ending. Like I didn't just do that because it would get me a new ending. I did that because I was like, fuck you.
Yeah. I was sorry to get into the game again. I'm sorry, Melina. We're gonna. The part of understanding is now going to be completely disregarded because I need to talk about that ending for a second. I'm surprised you made that choice.
Really?
Yeah, I'm actually shocked.
Okay, so spoilers for Cyberpunk.
What?
Phantom Liberty here.
I was gonna play.
I'm not talking to you.
There are other people present.
So if you want to play the DLC, don't listen to this conversation. I'm not putting a timestamp, just guess.
Just go blah 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 blah.
I am going to spoil stuff sporadically, so
Yeah.
if you've not played Cyberpunk, just
Leave.
I don't know, try and find out when the next conversation happens.
Yeah. So in the DLC, you go to this place called Dogtown. You're summoned by like a person who offers you a cure to your predicament.
Yeah.
You have a chip in your head. That's rewriting a personality on top of yours, and it's slowly killing you.
You make best friends with the personality, but like
if you choose to.
yeah, if you choose to, but like it is slowly overtaking you, and
Yeah.
it's stated that you're going to die at some point.
Your consciousness or the body, like your personality.
If you don't do anything about it, your body will die because the
Okay,
body
okay.
can't support the two of them. But if you make a choice, then eventually you will just die anyway.
I
Actually.
mean, I think like the main thing is that like the personality is slowly overtaken.
Yeah.
So I think the implication is that if you don't do anything, the personality will fully take over.
Yeah.
Like V, the main character, will die.
Yeah.
Like consciously, and like the new personality of Johnny Silverhand is going to take over your mind and your body.
Oh, she was my favorite.
Too bad for you.
Yeah.
Blame Jackie.
So you're summoned to Dogtown by a disconnected voice that says, I can offer you a cure if you just do a little job for me. You go there, the president's plane crashes into Dogtown, and you have to rescue her.
Nice you do.
And then you basically roped up in a spy thriller story, which involves Idris Elba. And
As not Bond.
and not as not Bond.
As American not Bond.
And eventually you have to make the decision between siding with him or with the character who offered you the cure. Because she basically fucked you over because she's also in a not the same situation, but she has a similar enough situation where she will eventually die if she doesn't use the cure.
She's also being corrupted by this other force that there's a whole lot of nuances.
Yes, there's a lot of lore.
Basically, it's a very sympathetic reason to like side with her, but you've also made friends with Reed at this. I mean, I'd say. You've also got Reed, who you grow to like understand over the course of like the plot as well, but like he serves a not so great government.
Yes,
because the governments of this world are just fucked.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you've got shit like that going on.
Yeah.
Like, Reed's whole story is like, he's a nice guy, but he serves some pretty evil bastards. And he's very loyal.
Yeah.
So it's the choice between picking someone who is going to fuck you over, but is free, and might just help you in the end, out of hope, or someone who's serves someone terrible.
Yeah.
But is a decent dude.
So as you're taking this character Somi to go up to the moon so that she can make this cure and cure herself, she reveals to you that the cure can only be made once.
Oh.
And that she's played everyone in this situation, not just you, but Reed, the president, everyone. And then Johnny, the personality in your head, says,
Take it.
You should call Reed.
No,
or you could call Reed.
Yeah, he doesn't suggest it. He says that, you could call Reed and just give her up, You've got a right to feel angry over this. It's your choice.
So you're then faced with, do you put her in the rocket to be free and get the cure, but you're fucked? Or do you rightfully feel angry and turn her over to Reed? Because she's committed treason, so she needs to be taken into custody.
In my playthrough, I sent her into the rocket and put her to the moon. Whereas you...
I called Reed, because I was fucking angry.
The thing is, I can't blame you.
I genuinely
I
felt like visceral anger when she revealed that. I was like, wow,
I could,
that's fucked up.
I could kind of tell because you went very silent in this last part of the DLC, and I was like, oh, you're pissed.
This bitch.
Because you have to make a decision before this. You have to side with her or Reed in an escape sequence.
Like, there's two major decisions, really.
Yeah.
One leads to one kind of ending, one leads to another. We both picked one that lead to like a specific kind of ending, with like that ending being like a sub choice, basically. Hold, you go. I kind of interrupted you, sorry.
So I had made the decision to side with her at that point in time because I felt sympathetic towards her. You then go through so much shit. You have to sneak in to the spaceport, whatever. You get into a massive shootout. You're trying to fucking survive. You have to tap into the most dangerous part of the internet with her.
This has basically been treated as like a terrorist attack as well. Like President Myers, like, her whole goal is to get Songbird, the person you're trying to save.
Yeah.
Just to like, because the whole lore is that she's got the ability to use powerful AIs, and she's basically, the president's basically been using her as a weapon to break international law. So her plan is to get Somi back no matter the cost.
Yeah.
Because if she gets free, she's not only potentially dangerous, but there's also a lot of accountability that's coming her way if she gets loose. So President Myers basically commits an attack on an airport, on a free city.
Oh.
Which causes the death of countless people, both airport security and innocents.
Yep.
Not V's fault, but kind of a shitty ending to have.
And you
on the world.
Yeah, and you got to fight your way through all of that.
It is cathartic, though.
Yeah, but then you get on the train and she tells you, I fucked you over, you can't
lied,
get
by
a
the
cure.
way.
I lied.
Bitch.
So I just
Goes full of ratio.
snapped.
Yeah.
Which is fair. I mean, I was pretty fucking pissed too when it happened to me.
Didn't help that every dialogue choice I tried to make at that time brought up some other screen, because Cyberpunk is one of the buggiest games still.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotten a lot better.
Oh, 100%.
It's stable, it's playable, to the point where it's great, but like, you get bugs like that.
Oh yeah. I don't know how many times I've been in a conversation and the button to move a dialogue option down to select a different one is also tied to opening new messages. And if you get a new message at the time that you're conversating with someone, it always opens the message as well as moving down the dialogue option. And even if you open the message and come out, it
Still
just
there.
keeps opening it.
Yeah, fun.
That didn't help.
That did not help.
I understand that rage at that point. It's just funny seeing the two different endings we ended up getting, because my reaction to her basically saying like, yeah, I was pissed.
Yeah.
Especially because Cyberpunk's also a game I get very immersed in. I really try and get into the headspace of whatever V I've made at that point. So I really sympathized with V. And I was like, oh, you fucking bitch.
But see, I feel like that's also a very honest response of my V too, because it's like...
Yeah, that's what I'm going for here. Like, it's a very natural thing. But, like, I sort of had that realization, like... I mean, at that point, I kind of felt in my headspace that, like, I've already burned that bridge with the USA. I don't think I can really accept myself crawling back. But I also had this moment where I was like... I understand Songbird's situation because she's grown up in the political world basically at this point, and this is something I will say, it makes sense and it's a good way to get more value out of the DLC, but you only really fully get the context of how she became part of the FIA in the other ending with Reed. I'm not sure how much you've seen of that yet.
He's driven off and called me up and offered me the new ending. I haven't seen much yet.
Okay, but like in the ending where you betray Songbird, basically it ends up in that ending you can see into Songbird's memories and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And you can see how she joined the FIA, and she was basically coerced as a teenager. She kind of alludes to it a little bit when you're heart to heart, but like she's basically grown up a lot in the political scene where everyone backstabs each other to like get what they want basically. And at the end of the day, what she knew about us is that we're a merc in Night City who's going to want something out of this for any sort of help. So I understood why she did this all out of survival. So in the end, I sort of went, so me, if you'd have just told me the truth, I would have helped you anyway. Which ends up being what V says if you pick that dialogue option to like send her to the moon. And when Reed came out, it was a very Bond dramatic moment where I was like, I'm not giving her up. I don't care anyway if she's fucked me over. I'm just gonna help her because she asked for it. Because I'm going to be nice. And that's my fucking downfall. So there's this very emotional moment where in that, if you make that choice, you have to kill Reed. Yeah. Which sucks, because he is a bro on some level. He is a bit of a dick sometimes, but I didn't want to kill him, but I had to anyway. And then you send her to the moon and you get... I still sort of stand by what I initially said to you without trying to give away any spoilers, was that I have no idea if what I just did was the right thing, but I feel satisfied in what I did. And there's a difference. And that's what... At that moment, I was like, this is the greatest DLC I've ever played in my life.
For me, the decision came from, like... I always see it as my V being like, yeah, I'm gonna die and I'm gonna do just about anything to survive. But the one thing I won't do is fuck over someone who I've put my trust into.
Okay.
And that's what Songbird did.
Yeah.
We were in the same situation or similar enough situations, but ultimately we made a different decision as to how to treat people in our lives.
Yeah.
And that didn't sit with me or my V. And
Which
so
is
I
fair.
made the decision of, well, then you should answer for your crimes.
You can view that as justice.
Yeah.
I don't blame that. It's just that my view of justice in that is, well, yeah, she fucked me over. Everyone's fucked her over as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be the one nice person she's met and actually just help her because I want to.
Yeah. I saw it as, like, if she wants to burn every single bridge, she needs to come to terms with the consequences of what that decision
actions,
incurs. Yeah.
And that's not an unpopular like viewpoint, by the way. If you go on like there's so many people that there are like huge discussions on like the subreddit, and I don't think there's any one ending in Phantom Liberty specifically that's like fully popular.
Yeah.
Maybe sending her to the moon is slightly more popular, but they're more evened out.
Yeah, it's not like the ending of the actual game where everyone kind of agrees the Nomad ending's the best.
Yeah, because you actually have hope.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, I have looked into what happens if you betray Songbird inside with Reed the full time.
Oh, okay.
And that's a very interesting plotline as well, to the point where I was almost tempted to like do it on this playthrough. But I also know how that ends, and I don't agree with either of those endings either.
Yeah.
So I've kind of come around to say, okay, what I did the first time actually was the right thing in my personal viewpoint. But even knowing that, on my third playthrough, getting into the head of my V again, I had that moment where I was like, I don't actually know which one I want to choose.
Yeah, I think that was something I actually really felt throughout. Is like, I actually don't know who to side with this time, because it feels like both of them have another agenda.
Yeah.
And so you don't actually know who to trust.
It feels like you're kind of screwed no matter what.
Yeah.
I just, in my personal view, having seen all the endings, I feel that V's sense of principles, or my V's sense of principles, are more intact in the ending I get than any others. But if you join, there was that temptation, even knowing all of that, that I did to maybe pick Reed and just go with that, because Songbird is kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
And capturing her might just be the best move overall, but I don't know. Maybe it was Johnny whispering in my head to let the free bird free.
Yeah. The thing is, he's not like against your decision if you hand her over to Reed at that point in time.
I think it depends on your affinity with Johnny,
obviously. Oh, for sure.
But he understands basically every ending. Maybe not, maybe except one. But,
yeah.
But like, because Johnny straight up says, and I kind of forgot this from like my third playthrough, where you can ask him, what would you do in my situation?
I did that,
honestly, I don't fucking know, V.
Yeah, when you're in the Ripper dock, getting the face thing put in. Yeah, I remember asking him that, and I was genuinely shocked at like his uncertainty. Yeah, because he's a very cocky and sure of himself character.
Yeah, and the thing about Johnny, for context, is he has principles, like strong principles. They can be kind of fuck principles.
Oh, sure.
Because for extra context, Johnny died before he became like a digitized engram, and he died by basically committing a terrorist attack on in the middle of a city with a nuke that fucked things up like royally for like decades.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, I know.
He's played by Keanu Reeves.
So he's
cool.
I
know that.
Oh, you actually knew that? I'm surprised.
But like,
he was such a big part of the market.
He was
that's everywhere
true.
that
Wake the fuck up, samurai.
Why do you come? But yeah, he's so opinionated. He always is trying to like push you into like what he thinks he would do. But in that moment, he's like, I don't know, V. I genuinely don't know.
That's something I really liked about Phantom Liberty, because I went into it worried that it would, especially at the start, where it shoves Johnny to the side and is like, oh, you can't talk to him right now,
that he'd be gone.
I genuinely worried that they couldn't get Keanu back.
Same.
And so he would just be absent for this whole DLC. You've spent so much of your time of the game getting, close with, if you want to be friends with him, become friends with him, come to an understanding, and like the point that you get introduced to the DLC is at the point where you finally come to an understanding with Johnny and you actually become friends. And then I was like, what the fuck? What if you go into Phantom Liberty and he's just not there? But he is. He's like a constant voice of like...
He's out for like an hour, but like he comes back and like he's ready to like give you his thoughts on like everything that's happened up to then and anything further.
And I really like that, even though I think shoving it at the end of Act 2 is a weird point.
Yeah.
It actually makes sense for Johnny, because it is the most honest with you that he ever is, and I really appreciated that from a character development standpoint, where he's actually honest and he tells you what he thinks.
You need that development from him from the game first before you can even begin to get where you are with him in the DLC. Johnny in the DLC is like... I'm actually shocked at how well it was done, because there were so many ways they could have made it clunky.
Can someone stop messing with their headphone cord? Thank you.
I just touched it once. Sorry.
Shunned. But yeah, he's out for that first hour, but once he's back, he's full on like Johnny again. And like one of my favorite interactions in the entire DLC is this kind of inconsequential choice from like a gameplay standpoint of whether you take the oath.
Oh,
when Maya's first, like, because the whole thing is that after you save the president, she sends you to get Reed, who's been a sleeper agent in Dogtown, and like, she says, so you're officially like a special agent for the FIA now to do this mission. You can even take the oath if you want. Yeah. And like, you have this small choice. You don't have to take the oath. You can skip it. But like, depending on what you choose, Johnny will either berate you for taking an oath and basically being a bootlicker, is basically what he says, or if you don't take the oath, he'll just say, you know what? You're actually kind of smarter than me when I was your age.
Because he was in the army at one point.
Okay.
He defected, and that's kind of shaped his worldview. But like, in that moment, he basically has a from one deserted vet, respect.
Yeah. It also, sorry, this is not actually related to character writing or anything. The alternate outfit. I actually put it on him for the DLC, and it was one of the best decisions I ever made.
Oh, the alternate outfit. I love it, but I also hate it.
It grew on me.
Yeah.
But I think it absolutely fits Phantom Liberty's style.
Yeah, that's fair.
Plus, there's something about like toggling it on for him once I've become like friends with him.
I did that on my third playthrough. That's why I did, because I sort of made it in the sense that like for my first playthrough, it was purely the alternate one. Surprisingly, yeah. Because it was new at the time, I just wanted to see it. Then on my like second playthrough, I kept it at default, and now I'd say I like the default look better overall.
Oh, I still prefer his default look.
Yeah, but from my third playthrough, I did this thing where like I'd have him default, not up until Phantom Liberty, but actually up until you do the carry stuff.
Okay.
Because my thought was that his alternate outfit looks very rocker boy.
Yeah, I get that.
So my idea was keep him default, and then once you get to like the gig with Carrie, with the reunion, that's when he switches into rocker boy.
Yeah.
And then after that, he's just like, I'm gonna keep this for a while. Then I did the rest of Phantom Liberty, and it fit really well. There's so much more. There's so much more.
I'm
just
very
with the base
of...
game itself,
yeah.
but like just to restrict this to Phantom Liberty, that the choices you make and like the ways the story goes is, I've never met a game where all of them are satisfying.
Yeah,
all of them are well developed, and all of them are just, apart from one which I won't say because it involves sticking with Reed. All of them feel satisfying and justifiable to me on some sense. So I could go on, but I like you said, we're being conscious, so I'll try and cut it there. But fuck, I love this game.
I also wouldn't know what the title is because I've already used the title. We made a girl listen to us talk about video games already. So
call it "Wake the Fuck Up, Samurai."
Oh man.
But that's basically been me.
Yeah, we've already hit an hour, so I guess I don't really want to go over it at this point.
What were you going to talk about?
For next month, you
Nothing.
Can talk about.
Like I was going to talk about horror movies, but we've both talked about Cyberpunk, so I don't really mind.
Okay. We'll save it for later.
Maybe. Because the next time we record, going to be well and truly done with my Halloween movie binge.
Or if you want to know his thoughts, you can go to letterboxd.com, Rebel Notorious.
Sure, yeah, thank you.
You can check out your reviews.
Yeah, so I've been writing all of them.
Yeah.
No ghostwriters here.
No.
You said that like there was an implication.
Yeah.
Not my intention.
Anyway,
I may have supplied some of the jokes, but that's about it.
Yeah, I think there's a couple you've given me the inspiration for the jokes. Are like straight up. I've just been like, yeah.
I like that you didn't ask.
No.
You just did that.
I just did that.
Frick.
You're not writing the reviews.
Yeah, I'm not getting royalties either.
No.
So.
Anyway, thank you guys very much for listening to this episode of Anime Lane. I almost said Halloween Lane.
We just talked about horror movies.
Weird.
It's like 2 months ago.
It's almost like it's still October. What?
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
We'll do something.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.